Final notice to Lara Croft, a current tenant of premises. This is to serve as your final notice for the purposes of terminating your ownership of Croft Manor. You are required to immediately vacate and surrender possession of said manor to Atlas de Mornay, executor of estates.
Lara, it is unfortunate that you have forced my hand in this matter, but so be it. As you know, your parents appointed me executor of the estate in the event of their absence. Since your mother disappeared, her death was never technically declared. And given the circumstances surrounding your father's death, it's no surprise that he never drafted a formal last will and testament to account for this circumstance. Unfortunately, you have no legal claims to the estate. I'm willing to negotiate a modest monthly stipend from your trust, but only if you leave the manor by week's end. Don't fight me on this, Lara. Your mother wouldn't want that. Sincerely, Atlas.
What a jerk.
There has to be a will or some kind of evidence of what happened to Mum in the manor somewhere. Dad's safe. Needs a combination. It's got to be in Dad's papers somewhere. Maybe in the library. My birthday crown. I was so proud of that thing. That's my handwriting. My penmanship was pretty good.
Treasure of the Ancients.
Well, this is a hell of a thing. I met someone tonight quite unexpectedly. But it shouldn't have been, it seems. I've been so buried in my work, so distracted by my latest revelations, I never bothered to notice my surroundings.
Just started.
But there she was, sitting at my table in the library. Her name is Amelia. And apparently she's been studying right next to me. Art history, of all things. I shared some of my research against my better judgment, but I wanted to see how she would respond. And she did not disappoint. I felt as if I was suddenly engaged in a mental game of chess, moving and counter-moving in argument. At one point, that poor old librarian had to shush us as if we were children. I feel so foolish for not having noticed her earlier. She's a brilliant woman who's challenged my ideas for the first time in memory. In truth, I don't know if she's feeling as exhilarated as I am right now, but I dare say our conversation was mutually stimulating. For the first time in a long time, I find myself thinking about something else besides my research. I hope she returns for another round tomorrow.
I'm doing very well, thank you, Valkyrie. How about you?
My parents made a good team, challenging each other from the start.
So this is the last bit of stuff in Rise of the Tomb Raider, where Lawrence just read a letter from someone who's the executor of the will of the estate, since both the parents, mum was declared missing and dad dead. And he's going to take the manor off her. She's got to leave by the end of the week, so we're looking for clues. Something that can give us a will or proof of mum's death.
Dad would have liked me to go to Oxford, but I insisted on UCL. Yep, looks real. Roth once offered to forge me a fake diploma to show Dad.
You're good? PlayStation working alright?
A picture with Dad and Anna.
Okay, so Anna was around...
Never liked wearing dresses, but the color was nice.
For a long time.
This is probably my grandfather, Benjamin.
I finally introduced Richard to the family. It went precisely how I imagined. Icy but polite grace from Mother, indifference and disinterest from Father, and thinly veiled contempt from Atlas. Of course they don't approve. To them, Lord Croft is the man who took away their beloved daughter and ruined her long-standing engagement, though I was never going to marry that repugnant Earl of Farringdon anyway. One might think they would be happy that I was being courted by a genuine lord of the realm. It just happens to be Richard Croft. In their eyes, the man who single-handedly ruined
Amelia,
a
okay.
once great family. But there's nothing to be done now. Watching how Richard dealt with their subtle insults and disrespect. Such grace and calm. I know he did it for me. I think I'm falling in love with this man. It will break my mother's heart, but I cannot live the life she imagined for me. My time with Richard has only made this clearer.
So Atlas is either Lawrence's mother's father or stepfather. You wouldn't call your father by his first name. So I think maybe his stepfather.
It must have been hard for Mum to go against her family's wishes. I'm glad she did.
Or could even be uncle.
Dad's map of the forgotten cities of northern Syria. He was closer than he knew to finding the Prophet's tomb. Dad's book about immortality myths might be useful in my research.
Truth Behind Myth by Lord Richard Croft.
One of Dad's Yoruba masks, a gift from a friend he met on an expedition in Nigeria. The door to the library. This is the map I made for my first expedition with Dad. It shows a path to the library through the servants' passages.
Okay. I have to remember that. Because the library, I'm guessing the map I made for my first expedition, that's the actual house. Right? And that's Dad's office. So maybe the library's locked. We'll have to follow this. Yep.
Locked. There's got to be another way through. Wait, I can get to the library through the old servants' corridor. Dad's artifacts from the Nile Valley. I always loved looking at these. Dad became interested in immortality myths after his expeditions to Egypt.
Hi, Dad. I've been thinking about Mum lately. I wish I knew more about her. How did you meet? What was she like? Winston told me that she was a brilliant artist. Are some of her paintings locked up in the West Wing? And I guess I just want to know, did she love me, Dad? Did she ever say that she did? Maybe I'm just being silly, but will you tell me more about her the next time I'm home from school?
Lara, I've reviewed the report from your therapist. I have to say I was surprised to see a clean bill of health. I somehow doubt you've so easily abandoned your irrational claims. Indeed, where have you been the past few weeks? My secretary discovered that you booked a flight to Turkey on the 20th. You can't have been simply sightseeing, as your customs claims suggest. I know you're up to something, and I'll be damned if I let you use the Croft assets to indulge the same obsession that led to my sister's death.
Okay.
It's not too late to relinquish your claims on the manor voluntarily. If you refuse, I will find a way to cut you off. Sincerely, Atlas.
Right. So when he said mothers and Atlas, Atlas is the brother, so it's Uncle Atlas, who's a jerk and just wants the money from the manor. What a jerk.
Well, hello there, Sir Lancelot. Don't worry, I won't be borrowing your sword this time.
I remember that.
The Grand Hall. Always loved playing in here as a kid. This will be one of the first things to fix.
No, that's right. It was like explosion or fire. Oh, that was in the French one.
Lara, you know the West Wing is off limits.
I'm sorry, I just wanted to see...
We've been through this.
Was Mum's room in here?
Just stay out of there, darling.
Dad was always so protective of the West Wing. Locked. Need a key to open this.
Ah. Get master key. Also requires master key. Oh.
This belongs to Anna. Most of her belongings are in the guest house. What was she doing in here?
Smoking. Stop smoking. Love R. Would be Richard. So he buys her a cigarette case to get her to stop smoking.
Someone has a sense of humor. A phoenix figurine. I bet this appealed to Dad's idea of immortality, of rising from the ashes and being born anew.
Am I basically done? Yeah, we've just got to do this one story that's sort of happens after you finish Rise of the Tomb Raider, when then we'll be starting Shadows. The trebuchet. Yeah, we finished the main Rise story. Yeah, the trebuchets were great at the very end. How was she saying it? I didn't even think of it. I was too in the moment. When I was saying it out loud, I had that scene from Harry Potter where Hermione's, it's not Leviosa, it's Leviosa. And I was thinking of Lawrence being like, it's not trebuchet, it's trebuchet. Hey, Tinos, it's trench bucket.
Another one of Dad's immortality artifacts. I think Roth bought this for him from a trader in Greece.
Lara, since your return from your expedition to Yamatai, I've grown increasingly alarmed at your erratic behavior.
Oh, that's
I
after
can only assume you suffered
the
some
first
kind of
reboot.
psychological trauma and are only acting out as a call for help. I want you to know that I hear you, loud and clear. Anna and I agree that it's time for you to be evaluated by a professional. I took the liberty of arranging an introduction to a highly qualified colleague of mine. You should be receiving the details in the post soon. I want to impress upon you the importance of this, Lara. As executor of the estate, it is my duty to see that it is left in capable hands. And if I may be blunt, you're acting like your father when he was at his worst. He nearly lost the manor himself in those days. I'd hate for you to repeat his mistakes. I encourage you to embrace the help I'm offering. Sincerely, your uncle.
Well, as much as we know he's being a jerk there, it was probably right for her to get do some sort of counselling after what happened on Yamatai.
What are you doing sitting there on the floor, Mistress Lara?
Looking at the compass, thinking.
What about, if I may inquire?
Just thinking about discovering faraway places, about finding adventure.
I'm sure you will, my lady. You've the soul of an explorer. But don't grow up too fast.
Yeah, I know. Not being perfectly adjusted after fighting ghost samurais and cannibals. Who knew?
The offer came in the post last week, and I still haven't told Richard. He flew ahead to Tibet, where I will meet him shortly. I never told him I was submitting my work. Never thought there was a chance of being accepted. Oh, but a gallery tour is not something I can pass up. The show will take me away from England for over a year. I'll begin in New York and travel across the United States and... oh, God! I'm giddy even writing these words. When Richard and I were married, I was prepared to relegate my painting to a hobby. But it was Richard who objected, who gave me my atelier and studio. Without that support, I might still be painting boring landscapes. Now I can't shake the foolish sensation that leaving would be a betrayal. He will laugh at that and insist I accept, even though I know it will break his heart to be apart. He never once asked me to sacrifice any part of my life for his. I have, of course, in 1,000 small ways over the years, but he would never ask. The discussion can wait, and I will join him in Tibet. I won't cast a shadow over his find. I will be by his side in his triumph, as I know he will stand by my side, in time.
There's something down there, but there was a box just here. Oh, and a book.
Hey, Jonah. Sorry for not getting back to you sooner. I've decided to do some research at the manor. A lot has happened, and I need some time to think about what I want to do next. This old place is filled with memories and secrets. Uncle Atlas has tried to keep me out of here for so long, I don't even know if I want to keep it. But after everything that's happened, maybe I can find out what it still means to me. If it's worth fighting him for. I'll let you know
sure
how
we can,
things worked out when I'm back
get
in
your message
London.
sent. It'll be pinged in Discord or on Twitch?
Got to remember to pack this for my next trip.
Mm-hmm. New gear acquired. Flashlight. Flashlight will turn on
Should be
automatically
able
when
to
entering
explore the
dark areas.
now.
Oh, we hadn't tried to go down a dark area. Maybe she just would have said no. I'm not eyesight enough. Are we going to be playing with RTX on? Was RTX available for Shadows?
I'm not sure. I really need to brush up on my ancestors one of these days.
Maybe. That's everything downstairs. Oh, hang on. Alright, we went upstairs. We're gonna go work our way through the servants' quarters. Missing a bunch of stuff. Expedition map 1 of 2.
This is the map I made for my first expedition with Dad. It shows a path to the library through the servants' passages.
Doesn't look like you can miss much there. Oh, okay. So I'm guessing if we come through here, it should be like, it's too dark.
Amelia, the news has reached Mother. She knows that you broke off your engagement with the Earl of Farringdon. She is beside herself with worry. But, for the moment, she's controlling the narrative. As far as anyone knows, you're just having innocent second thoughts. But the moment your affair with Lord Croft goes public, it will be too late. Our name will be as ruined as this man you've chosen to bed. Don't you see that you're being selfish, Amelia? Please, consider your family. You're a de Mornay. Everything you do has a greater effect on us all. I'm coming down to London soon. Don't do anything rash until we have a chance to talk.
It's on the envelope it says Amelia de Mornay Croft. Almost as if she's married this guy already, or Lord Croft already, but she hasn't. So why would he put Croft as the in the address on the envelope? It's not like he put Croft Manor on the other one, and he put I don't know if the address was Croft Manor or somewhere that Amelia was staying.
Falling apart. Maybe I should just let my uncle have this place.
No, he doesn't deserve it.
They say a good test of a relationship is how well you travel together. Well, I'd say Amelia and I have passed that test with flying colors. Indeed, these last few months in Egypt have been nothing short of extraordinary. She and Roth get on like old uni chums. In fact, the two have spent more than a few nights drinking and playing cards into the wee hours. Despite her decidedly proper upbringing, Amelia's taken to roughing it more than I ever have. She fits in and connects with the local populace with such amazing empathy. Because of her, I've had a bit of an unexpected breakthrough in my research. She managed to convince an artifact dealer in Old Town to sell me a magnificent and quite unusual Tibetan scroll. From what I can tell, it seems to contain details surrounding an immortality ritual of some sort. I think it's time for me to take the next step with Amelia. In fact, I don't think I can wait any longer. I will ask for her hand tomorrow in the bright Egyptian sun.
Oh, isn't Dad a
amidst
sweetie?
the dust and ruins.
I'm not surprised he asked her to marry him as soon as he got the idea.
Oh, that's the downstairs door.
Amelia, I know we have had our differences in recent years. I've tried my best to keep an open mind about your relationship with Richard, but I just can't let you go on this ill-conceived expedition without saying my piece. You say Richard's theories have merit. You say that he may have actually stumbled upon some mythic, unknown truth, but I have seen nothing to support such claims. And while your word may have been enough in times past, I cannot let you squander away what remains of your name and reputation, and that of our family, truth be told, on some damned foolish crusade. I intend to go to Richard's investors and let them know exactly how he's spending their money, but I want to give you a chance to put a stop to this yourself. Please, don't go to Tibet. If not for me, at least for Lara.
Okay, so that would have been years later. Oops. Sorry, my bad.
Still just as creepy as I remember.
My lord, I hope this missive finds you on a successful expedition and in good health. Before I bore you with estate affairs, I wanted to let you know that our little angel has been into some mischief. As always, I indulged her in our usual game of chess. Over the course of the game, she broached the subject of her mother. She's having trouble remembering her now, and wanted to enter her ladyship's atelier, which you sealed off, to play on her mother's piano. It enraged her when she wasn't allowed to go in, of course. For someone so young, she has such strong emotions. Later in the day, she set a trap for me in the walk-in freezer, of all places. Before I knew what was happening, I found myself locked inside. Mrs. Sheffield discovered
We may have
me
done
an
that a
hour
few
later,
times in early
shivering
Tomb Raiders.
and somewhat peeved. It took us an additional hour to find Lara in the grounds. I know all her hiding places, of course, but this time she really did not want to be found. Call it years of observation, but I can tell when she's out of sorts. My lord, if I may be so bold, she misses you fiercely. She is lonely for her father. Please consider a call as soon as you are able.
Poor Winston. I remember being so angry. He was always so patient with me.
But, you know, he became accustomed to being locked in that walk-in refrigerator, sometimes for many weeks on end.
King to Queen 1. I'm going to win this time, Winston.
Clever girl. But you should know by now, winning isn't everything. Queen to King's Bishop 6. Check.
Easy for you to say. You always win. Knight takes queen.
What I mean to say is try to enjoy the journey, Lara. Don't rush to victory. Bishop to King 7.
I know, Winston. I just want... Oh no! I didn't even see that!
You should also know by now, I'm not to be trifled with on this board, young lady. Mate.
Oh, I am going to win. Someday.
I would play chess with our old butler Winston on this board. Never could beat him.
YouTube decided to show me a video the other day on why there are so few championship chess sets made each year. They're handcrafted. And they showed the workers who looked very impoverished in the really, really crappy working conditions. And then they interviewed the...
always chose white. Maybe if I let him go first.
the owner of the
once in a
company
while,
that
I
makes
might have
them,
won.
who looked like he was living a pretty high life. You know, selling some very expensive chess sets on the back of his... he probably thought he was doing good, feeding some families, giving them work. Hey Kizran, how you doing? Would I prefer them butt crafted? I don't care personally. I just thought they would have been machine crafted. Hey Kizran. We're this is just after Rise finishes and Lawrence gets back to Croft Manor, and Uncle Atlas is threatening to take the manor office because he's executor of the estate.
I'm at a crossroads
He's
now.
also a
Good
jerk.
Lord, that's such a cliche. But there's truth in it. 2 roads before me. Both present joy and compromise. A life with Richard, adventure, intellectual pursuit, perhaps a new family. But also a man obsessed with something I cannot understand. Or a life of obligation, upholding the de Mornay name, embracing our traditions, not losing the family that raised me. Oh, this really is a rubbish choice. I don't want to lose them, but I love the life I've started to build with Richard. He comes with his own difficulties, but I can accept them. Will it be enough?
Not losing the family that raised me only so that I could uphold their name. That doesn't sound like a tough decision there.
Everything is almost ready for Mistress Lara's birthday expedition surprise. It's been a bit of an all-hands-on-deck effort organizing the affair and keeping it secret. She's obsessed with Egypt, memorizing hieroglyphs and ancient Egyptian districts, so she'll be delighted with what Lord Croft has come up with. This will be good for her. She's been acting up of late, but I know she's just craving more of her father's attention. He's been so buried in his research. It'll be a nice moment for the 2 of them to reconnect.
Archaeologist
And
buried
I do
in his
believe
research.
He needs it as much as she does.
It's probably a sign that the expedition's not going very well then, isn't it? Can we not read that letter? Will it fall off when we pull the thing back? Maybe it's just highlighting because it's linked to the trolley. Making sure I haven't. Yeah, we came through that one, right?
Dad loved a good bottle of wine. I can still smell his favorite Bordeaux.
Also, YouTube recently showed me... YouTube's algorithm's been showing me a whole bunch of stuff that I never knew I'd actually click on. This dude opened an old bottle of wine, and he's talking about, like, especially expensive bottles, but, you know, anyone they serve. If the cork looks like it's not going to be trustworthy, they open the bottle's table side. They have, like, a gas torch, and they light up this set of steel clamps, or iron clamps, and get it red hot, and then put it over the neck of the bottle. And he says, you know, it's hot enough if the iron sticks to the glass, and then that sits there for a while, and they pull it apart, and they rub it with ice and a cloth, and then they just go, and the top just pulls off the neck with the cork in the top bit of glass, and they put this very thin metallic sheet in there in the neck to pour the wine out of. Wonder how much the design of a wine decanters revolve around drunk not being able to knock them over. Probably some. I'd say a fair amount. Yeah.
Dad, this is it! The basement of despair.
Indeed, Lara. Muster your courage, for this is the only path to the Library of Infinite Knowledge.
Look there, see the string?
An ancient Egyptian tripwire. The keepers of knowledge want none to disturb their treasures. We must tread carefully.
Let me lead. I know how to spot all the traps.
I'm sure you do, my darling. Lead on.
Expedition with Dad under the manor.
Water damage from the main hall above. One of the wire traps Winston made for my birthday expedition.
Looks like it's heading out. So I want to make sure I haven't missed anything.
My stuffed bear. I couldn't have a tomb without a mummy.
The wire trap had more, did it?
One of
Oh,
the
thank
wire
you.
traps Winston made for my birthday expedition.
No, it has. This doesn't look like something you'd make for a little girl's birthday.
Winston used my hair ribbons to make this.
Maybe
He and
a,
Dad put a lot of work into
a
this
different
birthday
aged.
surprise.
What's that phrase? Dirty minds think alike? Or something like that? I mean, original Lara was sort of built to be fresh out of that sort of industry. There was a thing we could see on the way in. Okay. Missing something. Pretty sure. Is that it there? there. Like, how do I get to that? Pretty sure I couldn't get it from the start. This is the area that's represented in the, in this.
This is the map I made for my first expedition with Dad. It shows a path to the library through the servants' passages.
Yeah, we came through the winery. We picked up the trap at the skull. We picked up the bear at the tomb. I don't remember the eagle. So I'm sitting where the trap was, right? Yeah, sitting where the trap was. Although I've got to keep in mind some of it did get, looks like something's been destroyed.
This is the map I made for my first expedition with Dad.
So we can't go... That's looking at the wine area, right? From the trap to the wine.
This is the map I made for my first expedition with Dad. It shows a path to the library through the servants' passages.
It's probably not the best picture that she's drawn. There is something there. There's also a bit on the map we can't get to. Is this one here a crawl space? No. You can... this bit is here, which is not accurate on the map, but I think there's been damage that's changed it, and you can come around to here. And there's a hole here, which on her map, this wall's solid. And you come through this doorway, but the doorway's been closed. But there's something... Unless we can get to it from this side of here. Ah, well. Yep.
This bust of Anubis was from Dad's Egyptian collection. He must have put it down in the basement for our little expedition.
Yeah, I went back trying to find it instead of going forward because I thought forward might lead out.
This is the map I made for my first expedition
Yes,
with Dad. It shows a path to the library through the servants' passages.
I don't know if we picked up that eagle thing, but maybe that's the Anubis bust. Go back, have a quick look at that corner. If there's nothing there, then we'll just go on. Got to collect all the items. Man, Kizra, I had a lot of issues getting the sound working on Shadows. Okay, that's the eagle. So it wasn't anything to collect, it was just physically there. Upstairs, Lawrence.
Plans for adding electricity to the manor. Dad used to say his granny hated all the bright lights. There's a missing page.
Amelia left tonight. She packed her suitcase and walked right out of here, and I didn't even notice. Like those days in the Oxford Library before we even met, I just had my nose in a book, lost in my own world. I am such a fool. I have let my obsession with this damned ritual of long life rule my better judgment for far too long, and it may already be too late. How could I have not seen this coming? I've made this mistake over and over, always putting my research before my personal life. But it's never hurt like this before. I simply cannot live without her. If I have to give up this accursed quest that has plagued me for so long, then so be it. I am going after her, right now, tonight.
You go get it, Dad. Amelia knew what he was like before they got together? No, she didn't know him. They were sitting next to each other in a library, was how they met. He recounts that tale, and they had a...
Okay, Dad's ledger has to be in here somewhere. Hopefully it has the combination to the safe.
They had a conversation where they just both mentally stimulated each other in to and fro, so to speak. And Lawrence is like, oh, they both knew how to challenge each other, you know, mentally from the start, or something like that.
I've created a clever little map for Lara's birthday expedition. I used the invisible ink Amelia picked up for me in Morocco so many years ago. At the time, I remember being so annoyed by that rather aggressive street vendor, but she just smiled in her sunny way and paid him without a second thought. I assumed it was just a tourist scam, but it actually works. Turns out it requires a very specific kind of vellum and a heat source to illuminate the ink after it's dried. It should prove a nice challenge for Lara to puzzle out.
Wait, do we need to... we need to burn the Bill of Rights or something, isn't that what we do? After rubbing lemon juice on it?
For God's sake, memorize the combination, you old fool. Lara's expedition treasure, my favorite painting by Amelia, the day of our wedding anniversary.
Lara's treasure. Painting by Amelia, day of wedding anniversary.
Okay, got to find those objects to figure out the combination to the safe. There's something else here. Dad's lighter. I don't remember him ever using it, though. The Croft family crest and initials PC. I wonder if this belonged to my grandfather.
Lighter, now we can set fire to things.
Okay, should be able to light the fireplace now.
Do you really want to light the fire? Okay, well, you insist. Oh, I wonder if we can level up our crafting item.
I've reached the monastery. As Roth predicted, it was hidden deep in the Himalayas. And now that I'm standing on these high stone walls, I am overwhelmed by the sheer beauty of the mountains that surround me. It is simply breathtaking. But what adds to their spiritual majesty is the truth of this place. The monks welcomed me, as is their way, but they seemed to expect me. They must have known someone like me would eventually come seeking answers. I know this is the place. They've conducted the ritual before. I have seen the evidence, the distinctive symbols carved into the floors, the art displayed on the inner chamber's walls. They've created the elixir before, and they will again if I can convince them. I sent Amelia a message straight away. I want her by my side for this discovery.
I think that's the where she goes and has the plane crash.
Dad was looking for an elixir. Was it the elixir of life? This is my handiwork. I used to love drawing pictures of tigers. Spent so many hours in here, reading, dreaming of my own adventures.
Hey, Tiger Lizzie, how you doing? You've been summoned. Lawrence has summoned you.
One of Winston's notes. He always hid sweets for me to find.
I'm very well, thank you. Jaffa Cakes next to William Blake. Where's William Blake? I mean, they're Jaffa Cakes. They're probably still good.
I remember this now. Each district in ancient Egypt had a symbol and a number. I always preferred these symbols to the actual number hieroglyphs.
Wonder if that's going to be needed.
Now, let me see. These two myths are referencing the same source material. But where did I see this image?
Dad, I think it's this one, in the chapter on Egyptian districts.
Yes, I think you're right, Lara.
I remember the page with the illustration of Ra.
My goodness, you've been paying attention, haven't you? This could be an important breakthrough.
Does this mean I'm your research assistant?
That and more, my darling girl.
It does, but you'll get no
Takes me
credits
back.
in the annotations.
Those were good times. The best times. This was always one of my favorite books in this library. I used to trace hieroglyphs.
Come on, Lawrence. And there's upstairs as well.
I always accepted that Richard's rather unorthodox research was just something I had to live with. But this time, the thrill of discovery has taken hold of me. I never imagined I could be drawn in this way. Richard cabled to tell me he's found the monastery. The symbol we deciphered in the scroll was the key to its location. I don't know if I honestly believe that this will lead to the fabled elixir of life, but I can't help but feel that a great secret awaits us there. My brother was threatening to shut down the expedition, but I managed to talk him down for the time being. Now I am going to meet Richard. I would bring Lara if I could, but she's still too young. She'll be in good hands with Winston, and when we return, her parents might just be a bit more famous.
Okay, so that's not the one where the plane went down, because Lara was on that plane. How could her brother even shut down the expedition anyway? It's not like he controlled any money. We'll move that later.
This music is familiar. It's beautiful. It appears Sir Reginald's helmet fell off. Or didn't I put it back properly? Took quite a tumble off of this old thing when I was a girl. Still feel it in the shoulder from time to time.
Find the books, Lawrence. Wahaha 9000, you've arrived. How are you, my friend?
Blank, except for the image of a key.
This is the one that requires the heat. And some sort of, what did he call it? Some sort of word
I
for...
remember this map now. It leads to the master key, but we made it with a special kind of invisible ink. It could only be seen with the heat of a fire.
Cold, brewed a bag of coffee from Sister's Company. We have a gallon of iced coffee in the fridge to pour and go in the mornings. Nice. Let's go hold this over the fire then.
I think I stashed one of Winston's master keys in here when I was a kid.
Don't burn it, Lawrence.
I can see the map. Looks like the key is hidden under a trunk near the bookcase. X marks the spot, as they say.
Oh, wow. Did she not complete this on her birthday?
The master key. This should get me into the West Wing.
The voice narration reminds you of walking simulators. This is very much a walking
Alright.
simulator, part of
This should open most
little
rooms
additional
in the
story.
manor, including the Forbidden West Wing. I think there might be more clues to find in the library.
There is one more upstairs in the library.
The Pharaoh's crown from my birthday treasure hunt. How old was I again? 6? 8? I think this hieroglyph corresponds to a number, but which one?
Which clue was it? 2 birds? Which one was it? It was... Oh, the hieroglyphic worksheet.
I
There it is.
remember this now.
The 2 birds.
Each district in
was
ancient
5.
Egypt had a symbol and a number. I always preferred these symbols to the actual.
5.
For God's sake, memorize the combination.
Lara's expedition treasure. So the first clue is 5. I'm guessing we probably don't even need to try to work that out. If we get all the clues, Lawrence will just put it in anyway.
Okay, Dad's clues mention Mum's paintings and their anniversary. Hopefully I can find some answers in the West Wing.
Something else required a master key upstairs.
Mistress Lara, I took the liberty of preparing
Hey, man
a
with that hair.
tray, as dinner did not go according to plans. I've included, in addition to your meal, a few treats. I would appreciate it if you kept this between us, but I felt tonight called for something special. If you will forgive me the indulgence, your rapid exit from the dinner table had me concerned, and I wanted to impart something that I hope sets your mind at ease. I have known your father for quite some time. There is an intensity to his passion that can be frightening, but I recognize that same passion in you. You're more like him than you know. Never doubt that he loves you more than his research, more than his artifacts, more than anything in this world. Storms pass, and tomorrow will be clear and blue again. When you have finished, please leave the tray outside. Be well. Yours, Winston.
What brings us back to the manor. So she comes home after the end of Rise and is reading a letter where her mother's brother, Uncle Atlas, is he's executor of the estates and he's kicking Lawrence out and taking it because he's a greedy jerk. So we're looking for clues, maybe a will from Dad or Mum or something. So this is a little after story that's attached to Rise of the Tomb Raider. No, Shadows will be after this. Alright, so that was the door that led from there into the library, yep. So we had to fumble around and we found a flashlight, which we conveniently found before we got to the dark area that said you need to find a flashlight, and for Lawrence to say, I'm not night vision enough. I think it's a good one because it it references a little bit of story here and there. I wonder if it ties into Shadows at all. Or if it's just a nice little bit of stuff. There was somewhere else we needed a key, but I don't think it was here. it's locked up. Oh, it's not turned on. But there's one right there on a collar. Yeah, there is a another one in Croft Manor, which is just shooting endless waves of zombies.
The Croft family crest.
Not really interested in shooting endless waves of zombies.
Worse than I thought.
Oh, wow. The one you really liked was breaking the Russian base one. Is that one of the other challenge tombs? Khaki duck, my dude.
The Croft family crest more like the khaki 48-month subcamp.
With the 48 months. The first subscriber. How you doing, Khaki? What's been going on, man? I saw you're simping for BioWare now, so when's the Dragon Age playthrough? Yeah, I think it's one of the levels in all the other ones. So it's not a dedicated one of, yeah, do that. There's like a whole handful of ones in that, those challenges you can do. Which I think is also a good idea for people that want to do like extra stuff.
Okay, Lara, keep it together. You're starting to see things.
Well, okay, so if you're going to do a...
Mum's atelier. Dad sealed it soon after she died. He probably couldn't bear
Wait, you're talking about the
idea of
MMO?
removing any of her belongings.
I thought for some reason when I read that tweet, I thought you were going to do a KOTOR playthrough. And I thought if you're going to do one of those, wait until the remaster comes out.
My lord, we all hope your work was well received at the conference and look forward to your return. As is so often the case with these missives, I wanted to call your attention to an incident involving our little angel.
What about Bioshock?
It seems that Lara has been the subject of some ridicule amongst the other girls at school. From what I can gather, some of the other young ladies were teasing her for being too much of a tomboy. You know how Lara can get when pushed into a corner. Let's just say they won't be bothering her again. But I do think their words have had an effect. I believe Lara has been missing her mother lately. She's begun to worry that she isn't like the other girls. And having grown up with only a father, it shouldn't come as a surprise that she has trouble relating to them. I wonder if this new friend of yours, Anna, is it? Perhaps she might prove a welcome influence.
I like the storyline for Swatter,
It
yeah.
might be worth bringing her to the manor to meet Lara. In any case, I'll let you decide the proper time to do that. Please travel home safely. Yours, Winston.
My only issue with it is because when I was playing it, and I was playing it for the benefits that you get in an MMO, is you either, whether you take the Sith side or the Jedi side, you either got to take the dark or light choices so you can max out what you can buy from the dark or light vendor. And you get punished if you go like, oh, I've taken 5 dark choices in a row. I'll start taking some light choices now. Oh wait, I'm gonna get punished at the vendor. Oh, they got rid of that?
Untouched for years, exactly as you left it.
This is Mum's painting area.
I stood up to my family's criticism, stood in defense of Richard and our love.
Man,
But as
4
my new
years.
life began in Croft Manor, doubt set in. How could love flourish in these cavernous halls and endless passageways? Had I made a terrible mistake? I have never been more delighted to be wrong. Richard welcomed me to the manor, my new home, with a game. It was a clue, written in jumbled words from 5 different languages, but it pointed the way forward. The next clue was a seemingly blank piece of parchment in the kitchen, where the heat of a candle revealed a message written in lemon juice. I followed each step, grinning like a child as I solved his riddles and chased the trail to its end. A white cloth stretched out on the lawn where a picnic was laid out. We laughed and ate, and my doubt vanished with the last of the morning mist. Love can and will endure.
Aw, and that's sweet. Yeah, thank you so much for the 4 years, Kaki. I can't get over that. 4 years. The good old super pixelated Australian internet days.
I don't have any memory of this. I wish I could remember doing this. Mum died too young. Mum with me as a baby. I've never seen this. Hard to believe I was ever that small.
You're smashing through Mass Effect? Are you going to play it? I'm playing Andromeda at the moment. I'm having a blast.
Mum's paintings. Which one was Dad's favorite?
I returned home this afternoon to collect the last of my paintings. I suppose I should say I returned to my family's home.
Yeah, with the digital
Atlas was
handshake
there,
noise.
in one of his foul moves. And even as he dripped venom for Richard with his cruel barbs, I could only laugh. To think that I once listened to my bitter brother in matters of my own happiness. My dismissal only served to infuriate him more. I left him there in Father's study, muttering to himself. On the drive back, as Winston took a longer route through the country,
Panz
I looked
arrived.
through my paintings. Richard's favourite one among them, a simple abstract with blocks of red. I smiled, thinking about giving it to him. I was happy, and I was going home.
Maybe Tech with the Panz arrive after the 16 months. Thank you so much for the support, my man. Remember the old Hearthstone days? Yeah, me too. Me too. It was a good start. I had lots of fun with that.
Blocks of red. Dad's favorite painting. Maybe
This one.
something about that painting will help me figure out the combination.
4. There's 4 blocks of red. Was there anything on the back of it? Can I kick the painting? Can I shoot it? The old TeamSpeak chats late at night. Oh, the khaki drug chats. After we would... So we'd finish off our WoW raid, and Kaki would just be sitting there with his headset on, drinking a bottle of wine while we're sitting there chatting. And like 3 hours later, someone would just say something random, and we're like, where the crap did that come from?
You've almost got it, darling. Here, let me show you. Like this, see? Well done, Lara. Well done.
I wonder how my life would have been different had she lived.
We had so much fun with the WoW raids until Blizzard forgot that if you put out all the content for a 2-year expansion in the first 6 months, people don't have anything to do for the last year and a half. I miss MMO
I'm
days.
glad I still have so much of Mum's work.
You found a good guild for DBC? Nice. Yeah, before we had the guild that I was in with you, I was in a fairly top tier guild, and I was happy with that because I had the other characters in a cash guild, and so I'd show up for the hardcore stuff on time with materials, and I did my weekly farming and whatnot, ready to fight, and it was just all business, which was great, right? But because I didn't have any other characters in there, I wasn't just hanging around with the casual. They had no casual fail. It was just business. And there are too many people be like, oh, why would I want to play a game for work? It's like, well, that's not you. Other people do. But the cash guilds, it was so cool just to hang out there and just chat and talk. But the guys, if in the hardcore guild,
with Amelia gone, the manor is a different place. A dimness pervades, a quiet I can't stand. Even though Lara is too young to understand what has happened, she also senses the change. She's asked after her mother only once, and I'm afraid my reaction must have terrified her. I will need Winston more than ever these next few months to help look after her. I never quite realized how much grief can consume a man, but I am utterly consumed. I know I can't escape the pain, but I will try my damnedest to avoid it. I will seal the West Wing for as long as I live in this place. It will remain exactly as Amelia left it. Perhaps someday Lara can find her own answers there.
Exactly, except for the tree sticking through the window. Yeah, so the hardcore guild was great because they just got in, they did the job, they did everything. But I hung out a couple times on off nights or after raids, and no one talked about anything other than stuff pertaining to killing next boss, progression, anything else, which is fine if that's what you want to talk about. But there was probably a reason why no one hung around afterwards and talked, because it just wasn't. It was show up, do work, get loot, go home. Which was great for that purpose. Absolutely wonderful for that purpose. The problem a lot of people had with it meant that because a lot of us were in casual guilds as well, which was good because that's where the fun is. The muck around fun. But the problem is then you get the casual player or that level of player that wants to do the Wednesday, Thursday raid, and I'm saying, well, I can't raid on Wednesday, Thursday because I'm in another guild. And everybody like, oh, but you're always hanging out here. Leave that guild. I'm like, no, they actually down bosses. So I'm going to raid with them on Wednesday and Thursday night. That's final. And if they say we're doing an extra one on Monday, I'll be showing up on Monday as well. And people will be like, oh, but you're really good and we want you on the raid team for this. I'm like, yeah, but you guys muck around. I'm not in it for a carry. And they're like, oh, but why should we treat it like work? I'm like, well, that's at different levels for different people. But if you don't want to do the work, don't expect someone else to come in and do the work, kind of thing. So it's kind of hard because I was always torn between hanging out with some really cool people that just wanted someone to do the work for them versus, I don't want to do the work if we're going to fail. I'd carry you anywhere, man, with that hair. Hardcore players really only think to live well. See, I could do both, but I didn't want to mix the two. And that's the problem, is that if you've got a hardcore mindset and you take that into a casual raid, you're going to end up frustrated. So you don't do that. But the other problem is that your casual friends will be like, oh, you can come and help us out. It's like, I'm not going to sit in here for 3 hours and fail because your Healy priest is spec'd in shadow, or your mage has some weird crap Frost Arcane hybrid and does no DPS. If you guys want to do that, join LFR or do something else. But if you just want to run dungeons and hang out and talk, and just do and do like old school world bosses and other stuff. Yeah, let's do that sort of cool stuff.
Amelia would not have approved. That alone should have been the end of it. But I am, as God made me, a stubborn fool. I locked all the West Wing's doors, and I shall not open them again until either my life or my obstinacy comes to an end. The night before, Roth told me I would someday change my mind. Like a broken arm cast in plaster, he said. The wound would heal, and we would someday shed the bandages to be whole again. The metaphor made me furious. The clumsy way he cast our loss off as nothing more than an inconvenience. There is wisdom in his rough words, but I've done what I must. Perhaps one day, Lara will throw back the doors to let the sun shine in again. Maybe she will find her own sense of peace in this place.
Yeah, Roth was right. You shouldn't have locked it up.
At least that old thing still works.
Well, that's it. What happens is someone that wants to actually show up and beat bosses, it'll be someone who complain. They'll be like, I don't want to treat this as a job. I want to enjoy myself. But then they'll be frustrated that they're not beating any bosses. They'll be like, you can't, you know. And it's that sort of thing where, like in any work, you get it in workplaces where someone gets a promotion, they're now the boss. And they're like, oh, I used to have lots of fun and hang out with everyone, but now that I'm the boss and I'm responsible, I've got to I have higher expectations, you know.
I am bursting with pride. Amelia is with child. It is amazing how everything in life can change with such a simple event. Obviously, we don't know the gender, but already we've discussed possible names. Perhaps Benjamin, after my grandfather, or maybe Griffin. He was more infamous at Croft than even me.
Griffin.
No, Amelia wouldn't have it. Besides, she's certain it's a girl. She favors a classic such as Scarlet or Kate, though I've made some headway with Lara. A subtle nod to the sun
Lady
god
Ra.
and our days in Egypt, where certainly this child was conceived. I find myself thinking about this new life we've created, of how much she might be like us. For all my research into myths of immortality, I may have ignored the most obvious answer to the questions that plague me. We live on through our progeny, our genes, DNA, experiences passed through the generations. Perhaps this is the simple truth of eternal life, and I've just been too stubborn to accept it.
Man, how good is Kara? I think, you know, there's probably some in recent times, but out of all the raids I'd ever done in different games, Karazhan, just the atmosphere and the setting, everything, right? The organ music.
Secret to immortality without even knowing it.
The menagerie is for guests only. You know, like... Oh, you killed Nightbane? Nice.
Mum's wedding ring. I always wondered what happened to it.
There's got to be is there a date on this?
The inscription is faded.
Somethingly yours. Eternally yours? Yeah, that cheer when you kill something. Yeah, I love the consistency of MMOs. You know, you show up, you do your daily, you run your dungeons, you know, you do your weekly stuff on different characters. You know, be a good deal on you know, for a stream thing, because it's that consistency that viewers want. You show up, you're playing the exact same game again, and you're doing the same stuff, but you're doing it's different. You're doing it again, you know. And being in a guild, I reckon a community guild would be amazing. But, you know, we have the Australia problem.
I believe it took this trip to push me over the edge. I've been able to see Richard in his element, seeing him at his best and his worst. I've experienced the purity and chaos of his passion, and I came to realize I want his passion in my life every day. So it's done. Richard wanted to wait another 4 days until my birthday, but I wouldn't have it. Once I make a decision, I prefer to get on with it. So we found a small chapel in Luxor that was just right. And with Roth and the others at our side, we married as the sun set over this remarkable land. Mother will never forgive me. Atlas will forever resent me. But I don't care anymore. I'm free of de Mornay obligations. Free to pursue my own passions and live my life surrounded by those who will encourage and challenge me. I'm excited for the future, whatever it may bring. Tomorrow, Richard and I return home to London as the Crofts, forging our path together.
Oh, old school Max as well. Yeah, I've been looking at
After everything Atlas has done, how could you tell him about the expedition?
It's just all been too much. I needed to talk to someone. He's still my brother.
I don't trust him.
You don't have to, Richard, but please, trust me.
I'm sorry, my dear, but I know him. He'll take it to the papers. The investors will pull out.
Then go. Without me, tonight. I will take care of Atlas, and then meet you in Tibet next week.
I was so young, but I still remember
think that was then-
argument. It
that was
wasn't
the plane
always
that
an
went
easy
down.
road for my parents.
This is after the second one, where like after you've completed the game. Well, you can do it beforehand, but I don't know if everything's available. But so Lawrence has returned home, and her uncle's trying to take the estate off her because both parents dead. I've been looking at Final Fantasy Online, but I don't know how that plays. How does that? Did you play that? I know Zergos plays it. Used to play it a bit. And then there's that new one that the New World, or just New World. I think that's the Amazon one. But again, playing from Australia or...
I think this was Dad's pocket watch. Looks like it stopped precisely at midnight.
That's odd.
This is Dad. I suppose it's a family tradition, but I can't imagine having one of these made of me.
Yeah, it'd be a bit awkward. Lawrence having a bust made of her bust. Hey, Surf, you're preferential to Ulduar as a raid? That's so hipster. Ulduar is definitely the internet darling raid. It was a very good raid, though.
Perfume, the smell, so familiar. I can almost remember her. Mum, on her wedding day, she looks so beautiful. There's a date, October something. Damn, the number is faded.
Ah, we need that number.
The anniversary was in October, but which day? Oh, I can't believe I don't know this. There's got to be another clue somewhere.
It was like 4 days. Yeah, it was near her birthday, wasn't it?
I remember this. Dad gave it to Mum on her birthday. October 13th, Mum's birthday.
You think it's rather reasonable to not know your parents' anniversary? Not if they never separated. They would celebrate it every year. You'd probably remember
Pretty
it.
sure my parents were married in October. I think it was close to her birthday. Okay, back to the study to open that safe.
Is that everything? Located in Croft Manor. I'm missing 2 so far. 3. 4. Missing a bust. 5. 6. Oh, they could be in the 7. They could be in the 8. Oh, and gear. Oh man, heaps. 9, 10. Okay, and they could be in the safe. A whole bunch of journals, probably in the safe. Okay, we're missing a considerable amount. Went down there. No, that was the... yeah. You got this, Lawrence.
Dad, what do you keep in there?
Nothing too important, Lara. Estate business and such.
If it's not important, then why bother putting it in a safe?
I should know better than to try and pull one over on you. There is something important in here. And it's for you, should you need it someday.
Well, let's hope you came through for me, Dad. No, that didn't work.
Okay. Turns out we are going to have to know it ourselves.
For God's sake,
Lara's
memorize
expedition
the
treasure is
combination,
5.
you
Favorite painting by Amelia
Lara's
is
expedition treasure.
4.
My favorite painting by Amelia.
And the day of our wedding anniversary, which was 4 days before their
It has to be in the
birthday,
clues.
so 9, so 5, 4, 9. Are there still entire rooms we haven't entered? Well, I don't think so.
Okay, found all the clues. Let's see if I can figure this out. That worked. It makes me happy to know that Dad kept this safe. No, that's not what I'm looking for.
I am numb. It is taking all my willpower to hold back the overwhelming grief. Amelia's plane crashed in the mountains. She died alone in the snow, waiting for me to find her. Oh God, not her, not now. I cannot accept it. Life without her is too painful to imagine. I know what must be done, and I am resolved. I'm going to bring her back. Perhaps this is why I am here. Perhaps this is fate, a test of my faith in the truth I've sought for so long. Roth will fight me on this, but I can't face Lara. I can't look into her eyes unless I try. I must try to bring Amelia back. The monks are preparing the elixir now, and then we will see if all my years of hunting this truth was for naught.
Dad, what did you do? Dad's sequel to his first book on immortality. He never got a chance to publish it. Handwritten. This is the only copy. Damn, this isn't it either. I was certain there had to be a will in here. Wait, what's that?
It's a map to somewhere else in the house.
A blank page. Dad must have left this for me. It has to be important.
To the fireplace. Lara was on the plane with Mum and crashed in the Himalayas. And then saw Mum enter Avalon through one of the weird portally things with the staff. Where was the library?
A hidden message.
Okay. Oh wow,
What are
that's
these strange marks? They have to be some kind of clue.
Yeah, you gotta line it up right. Okay, so we've got to look at the hieroglyphics. We're looking for what's this thing on the left? A 1 dot, 2 dot weird picture? I don't know. And this one is weird hieroglyph. That one's a bird. Lawrence's homework. Hieroglyphics. This is in the relics. Oh, Lara's childhood? I've probably gone past it 3 or 4 times. Yeah, it's called Hieroglyphics Worksheet, and for some reason I can't see it, because I'm an idiot. Oh, there it is, right in front of me. Okay.
I remember this now. Each district in ancient Egypt had a symbol and a number.
It's
I
1.
always preferred these symbols to the actual number hieroglyphs.
4, 2. Yeah, 1, 4, 2. And the other thing was Lara's childhood, is it? No, it'll be Lord Croft stuff. I wonder why some of the documents are like Lara's drawings. Why are they relics and not documents? What do we think the 1 is? Oh, man. it'll be a relic.
A hidden message.
So that's downstairs in the wine area, I think. In which case then we want the downstairs door.
That worked. Damn, locked in.
Wait, what? No, there's a thing here.
Did this open the secret door from the inside? Hope I'm not trapped in here.
Whoops. Someone left the lights on? No, they were triggered when we put the code in correctly.
Did Dad build all of this just to keep his research safe?
Oh, World Cross secret vault. Hey, so there was an entire room we didn't get to go see.
The renovations are proceeding in secret. The work crew Roth hired for the job have been paid handsomely to keep the details of the job out of the records, so I'm fairly confident no word will get out about what I'm doing. I've been careless with presenting my findings, attracting all the wrong sorts of attention. Roth thinks I'm being paranoid by building this secret vault, but I know I'm being watched. My work is too important and potentially too dangerous. It can't fall into the wrong hands. I need a secure place to keep it all safe.
I mean, he's paranoid, but they were after him.
It's over. I have done all that I could, and my Amelia is still cold and dead. Roth first scowled at my designs. Then he pleaded with me not to go through with the ritual. Not because he feared it might work, but because he feared what I might do when it failed. And it has failed. There is no doubt in that. I prepared everything according to my research. When I dropped the stone into the elixir and held it to her lips, I thought for the barest moment that it had worked. The hour was midnight and my pocket watch stopped inexplicably. There was a charge in the air like the moment before a lightning strike. For a heartbeat, I imagined that my life was being drawn from me as one empties a glass in order to be poured back into Amelia. I would have welcomed death if the last thing I saw were her eyes, clear and alive again. But the moment passed. Amelia is still dead, and I was no Orpheus. We will return to the manor and lay her to rest. I owe her that much.
You brought her home. She's here, somewhere.
So I wonder if he found her in Avalon.
Richard, I tried to see you in person last week, but your manservant hustled me away like some common tout peddling silverware. He told me you are heartbroken and you're not yet ready to see visitors. He told me you blame yourself for your loss. Well, to that, I say you had damn well better. I hope it hurts. I hope every moment of your life from this day forward is a ringing echo of loss. I hope you live just long enough to feel that pain grow when you hoped it would diminish, because you earned it. You stole Amelia from us. You ruined her reputation and poisoned her mind with a fantasy for children. In the end, you might as well have choked the life from her with your own hands. Do not contact me again, ever. But you must make arrangements for the future of your daughter. Have you considered perhaps it would be better if you followed Amelia sooner rather than later? As Lara's legal guardian, perhaps I could erase some of the damage you've already done to the poor girl. If not, I will do everything in my power to see to it that the Croft name is forgotten. Lara deserves better.
Jerk.
So did Amelia. And so do we all. Atlas.
Dad's collected knowledge. There must be so many secrets hidden in here. This was part of a set of statues Dad found in China. He thought it was linked to the Temple of Xian. Perhaps I should look into it someday.
3 + 3 = 33. That's all I got this morning. Still on vacation. Doing well.
Hedwin, my dude, thank you so much for the 33 months. Which, if I math correctly, is 9 months into your 3rd year. Happy Twitch Baby Day. Wow, 3 Twitch babies. We're doing well, man. Thank you so much for the awesome amount of support. As a reminder, that you do get 3 months Twitch paternity leave. So, you know, rest well, enjoy the vacay. Look forward to hearing all about it when you get back and seeing you return to your 4-day streamathon. Much love, man.
Might be able to use this to access other parts of the manor.
Oh, Franken Crowbar has come back to us. I wonder how many upgrades we can give this in the in the little story. You've got drama, family drama, internet drama, like Twitch drama, both drama.
There's an inscription. This is the Croft universe. Our knowledge is to the east, our respite to the west. Our future is to the south, our past is to the north.
Yeah, get out the, what is it, Pepe popcorn? Monka popcorn?
Our past to the north. Could there be something else beneath the manor?
Drama. More drama.
My love, it is silent, so peacefully silent now. Even after the madness and
it's
chaos
Peepo,
of the crash, I can't help but still wonder at the beauty of these mountains. I understand the magic that drew you here. Please know that I feel no pain in this moment. Only immense sadness. Sadness that I couldn't see your smiling face once more. That I'll never meet the wonderful woman that our daughter will become. There is so much to say.
Oh, that's after he drank the poison.
The sun is setting. The cold of night will
No, it's not.
overwhelm me.
It's from Mum.
I know I will fall asleep soon, and likely never again awaken in this world. I'm scared. Richard, what lies beyond? You know I've always struggled with faith, so I'm holding on to yours for now. I'm holding on as best I can, my love.
She write that to her while she was
Become
dying
the
in the
father
snow.
Lara deserves. Know that I will live on in her.
So they still had the plane crash, but she didn't go on in Avalon? Was Lawrence dreaming that whole Avalon story?
Faced death alone. She was so brave.
Yeah, that wall definitely looks breakable now. Well, they showed the
There's
plane
Tibetan
crash,
scroll.
though,
I remember he
at one
used to
stage from the
pore
earlier
over
one.
this late into the night.
So it's kind of weird. Wait, does this just knock into... This just goes to the expedition area, right?
Amazing. Even in here, Dad went out of his way to hide his findings.
Remember that hair turns on them.
The missing page from the renovation plans. They didn't want anyone outside the family knowing about this crypt.
Okay, so we're going to use the crowbar to bust out one of these doors. Or the floor.
Our knowledge is to the east, our respite to the west. Our future is to the south, our past is to the north.
Past. Or our future. Our future is out the front door to go on journeys. What if we turn it? knowledge to the east. That's the library. And the west wing was where bedrooms and stuff were, I guess. Hit it, Lawrence. Need to upgrade that crowbar so it only takes 2 hits. The Croft family crypt. Incredible. How many are we missing? Oh, it says up top 35 of 42 found, 48 of 54 found. We're missing quite a few. This has been
This
fun.
crypt was here all along.
Oh, I could have told you that from the previous games, Lawrence.
I expected a sort of crushing finality to grip me when we returned to the manor to lay Amelia to rest. Indeed, once the last of my funereal duties were performed, I fully believed that I would crumple to the ground next to her and expire, not from grief, but succumbing to the terrible exhaustion of the last few weeks. Instead, as the mausoleum stones slid into place, I felt a sort of peace and energy, one that I confess caught me entirely off guard. This was not the terminus of our story, and I was a fool to think so. Her body may be gone, but her spirit still resides here, in the manor, in me, in Lara. Her soul is forever twined with mine, and death is just a momentary interruption. I walked out of that cold quiet into a sunlight that burned my eyes, and I have never been more sure. Death is not the end, and there is work yet to do.
Good attitude, Dad.
My God, can it be? Dad, you did bring her home.
My dearest Lara, it is difficult to write this, knowing these may only ever be words on a page to you. I wonder if you will remember my voice. Will you remember the way we used to play and laugh? Will you remember me comforting you when you were sad? Know that I'm still with you, Lara. My energy, my love. It's within you. It always will be. Use that energy to pursue your passions in life. Never let others determine your journey. You become who you are through your choices, through the love you give and the promises you keep. I hope you are happy, that you are loved and successful in whatever it is you choose to do. I am proud of you, my darling. Remember me, with all my love, your mother.
Oh, it's from Mum. But I didn't get all the things.
What's this? A letter.
Oh. 2 days later.
Lara, I have received the notarized affidavit confirming Amelia's grave and the discovery of the burial crypt within the manor premises. While I can't fathom why your father would hide your mother's fate from her own family, I cannot deny that any legal claims I may have had on the estate are now null and void. Croft Manor and the remainder of your father's assets are now yours in perpetuity to do with as you wish. If there comes a time when you require assistance in managing the estate, I hope you will consider contacting me to retain my services.
I will consider.
Sincerely, your uncle.
But I will not go through with it. It'll just be a fleeting consideration, Uncle Jackass.
I've been so focused on defying my uncle, of fighting to keep his hands off this manor, that I never realized how much this place actually means to me. But since I've been here, I can feel the presence of my mother and father. I sense the entire history of my family and the deep roots we have in this place. I want to honor my parents. I want to honor all of my ancestors. The Croft family may be all but destroyed, but I will make our name and our home great again.
You want to honor your ancestors? Maybe start by recognizing them in their past. Could be a... Great uncle someone or other would prefer to have an actual first name. We're going to make Croft Manor great again. Lara for Prez. So now I just have to run around clumsily looking for new stuff in the place. Oh, did we go up here before? I don't think we did. Some of this stuff might have been up here during the playthrough.
This picture was taken in the library.
The library.
1820 additions to the main hall in progress.
I want to honor my ancestors by defiling the tombs of everyone else's. How many are we missing? 5 relics, 3 documents. Oh, there's a relic.
The broken sword I brought back from Yamatai.
Okay, so it makes sense because she's unpacking boxes. So they're Lara's ones. That's the thing from the map, shine the light through it.
Such an amazing piece of craftsmanship. Sophia insisted I take it home with me.
All right, Valkyrie. Thanks for hanging out today. I'll see you later.
I can still remember the last time I fired these.
Lawrence got her guns out, boys. They're big. Not as big as the guns in the originals, but you know. Did you put anything in the... Okay, 2 relics, 3 documents. I'll do a lap and then we'll ask for hints. I don't think the issue was that there was not enough polygons. They didn't have to make them stick out so far at the front in the original. I guess they thought it was thematic. Yeah, buoyancy.
This is strangely beautiful.
Really? does feel like one little room somewhere, or a little area in a room. No, it feels like more than a little area. It feels like a little room. 5 items. Okay, I'll go back to the crypt. Because it could have quite easily been something we didn't find before reading the letter. Sitting off to the side somewhere. It doesn't look like it though. Oh, there's one.
My great-grandmother Rose, nicknamed the Golden Rose for her perfect reputation. I wonder what she would have thought of me.
That one was subtle too. Down to 4. 4 still could be a location, like a cupboard that has a few in there. Do we dare open Mum's tomb? Where was Dad buried then? Did he not get brought down here? One relic, 3 documents. Where haven't we looked? The library, the office, the west wing. Where's our bedroom? It's probably behind one of these ones or something. We did the west wing. We did the main hall. We could probably go down into the cellar area again, I guess. Well, there might be a will, but we didn't need a will anymore because Uncle was only the estate looking after person because Mum wasn't officially dead. For whatever reasons. Executor. It's Croft Manor, not Mornay Manor. Yeah, so I don't know why he gets to be executor of an estate. Oh, because if she's not dead... I don't know. Because we're old enough, it's not like we're underage. Yeah, She just officially killed a mum. Ah, okay. So these we probably could have found before we... Oh. Because they're things that could be opened with a crowbar. Well, he had... It was all going through lawyers, so there must have been something in
Lord
it.
Croft is resolved to seal the west wing of the manor. I try to talk sense into him, but he will not be swayed. And to make matters worse, I believe his experiences in Tibet have only further fueled the fire of his obsession. He's now up at all hours in his study, researching God knows what. And poor Lara, she is so confused. Too young to understand the tragedy that has befallen this great house. My dearest hope is that Lord Croft will emerge from his grief and embrace fatherhood and the love of his daughter. But I fear he may give in to his obsessive nature, that which Lady Amelia tempered in him so well. In any case, I will be a rock for young Lara. She will never sense tragedy and sorrow in me, only the love and support she deserves.
Aw, thank you, Winston. Okay, so yeah, extra areas to crowbar could be useful. Yeah, having a look for lockers now. Doesn't look like it. Something there, though.
Hi, Dad. So I know I only just returned to school, but when can I come out to the dig site again? It's just so boring here. We're doing all the stuff I already read last summer. I always end up staring out the window and thinking about our expeditions, and then I'm yelled at for daydreaming. I promise I'll be good and not disturb you and just work wherever you tell me. I just miss it, Dad. And I miss you.
Aww. We could be using the crowbar in the under the house area in... No, not here, Lawrence. Lawrence! I was really hoping that door would get crowbarred. Where's that being? cellar. One and one. We're down to 2 items. A document and a relic. Is that something? Or is that just the handle of this? Oh, it's the handle of that. I thought that was a document. On this set of bottles when we first came through. It does, doesn't it? I mean, someone's gonna have to drink it. It'll be a very tough job. Settle down, Lawrence. What do you think your dad did while not archaeologizing? Well, he was definitely studying the glassing techniques of other civilizations. Alright, what are we missing? Oh, I can see it on this one, relic document. We are missing... one of Amelia's belongings located in Croft Manor. So we can go over to the West Wing again. And a document is... Is it a Lord Croft journal? No. It's an Amelia's journal. So 2 things from Mum. Almost gone. Oh, there you are. I missed you. You've got Panz set up in your new office. You've got a new office. Oh, they've called you back into the real world instead of work from home, but they're letting you have me in the office. Hi, War Master Khan's office workmates. Okay, 2 items of Mum's. Maybe there's something to crowbar here. You set the room up how you want. Now you just have to get your Chromecast working and you can beam Panz from the small screen to the 60-inch TV. Nice. Panz huge. That's what Mrs. Panz says. Where's the thing I stick my crowbar in? Master Khan prefers work from office instead of work from home because the lunch selection is better. Why not? You know, there's someone in particular that can be to blame for that. Mom, why'd you go hiding stuff? Okay, you know who else you can blame for not having a good lunch selection at home? There you go, man without hair. Hey, man without hair, did you did you pre-do the man without hair duties? Oh, you're really not on it. I don't know how I'm going to take this new job of yours. I'm looking for Amelia's belonging number 3. And Amelia's journal... 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, number 8. I wonder if they're gonna... Oh, we haven't had to do any jumping. Can't imagine doing any jumping. So how many days are you going to be returning to the office, War Master? Three out of 5? That's not bad. Hopefully you can avoid the unnecessary Friday meeting and still do that digitally with a still photo of yourself and a muted microphone while you snooze. Up on the on Fridays. Try to get out of the Friday one. That's with the bad meeting, right? Come on, Lawrence. You've cancelled 7 out of your 10 weekly meetings. Have they been merged into a singular meeting? Or did you just outright cancel them completely? like a meeting cancelling god. They've been merged. That's a good outcome though, because at least like everyone's in there. Just address it in the one hit. Yeah. All right, guys, that was a good 9 o'clock meeting. It's now 9:05. I guess we'll see you for the 9:45 meeting in 40 minutes. Don't be late. Well, usually the meetings, even if the content is 10 times as long, if you move 10 meetings into one, the overall is not 10 times as long, because meetings seem to have, like, people send a chat when they come in, then they get, you know, there's only so much sidetracking you can do, because, you know, you can only tell so many stories, you know, if you haven't. Whereas if you come back the next day for another meeting, something funny could have happened the night before. I think Man Without Hair is shirking his responsibilities. Look at this, becomes a baker and decides he doesn't want to help anymore. I'm going to have to Google it myself. What's the world coming to? Because no one wants to play Shadow. Everyone's like, no, we just don't want to play Shadow of the Tomb Raider. Because then it'll be over. Although now I understand why Hedwig said it was the hardest one, 100%. So anywhere we haven't reached, the library may have an area. Because it did have that one area over here after all. Anything on a shelf? Nope. Yeah, I was thinking about that when I looked over. I was thinking about if there's anything there, or if we have to. Oh wow! You could almost cheese that path originally then. So I went up to that one. That ladder can't be moved, and we can't get to that one. I think Uncle Google's going to have to give us a hand with this one. What am I missing? Amelia's belonging number 3 and Amelia's journal number 8. Yeah, Amelia's journal number 8. Let me have a look at this again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Only 7 listed locations. That's because someone didn't get the last one. And they've written a 100% guide without putting 100% of the items in. Did we exhaustively search Amelia's areas? Well, I want to say yes. But by virtue of the fact that we have 98% of the items, I'm going to say no. No one ever found it. It's probably on a website that doesn't allow comments, so no one can post anything. And when you look up when you open up the 5 other guides that have the exact same copy pasta from that one, they'll all only have 41 out of... Is that a thing? 41 out of 42 collected. And they'll all be on websites that don't allow commenting. Is this the Kizron 99% guide thing? Guild Wars, where they found an Easter egg no one had found for like 20 years. There was one on Doom, where someone finally found the last Doom secret. But didn't say if they found it, if they got to it the intended way, or if, You're on Google, you have a list, but you don't know which item I'm missing. Do you have a list of 42 items? And is it alphabetical, or is it in this order, starting moving in and then clues? It's broken up into categories. Well, I mean, it's from the category of Amelia's journals in the documents. And we have 8 in the category. I have Next Steps, Facing Death, Letter to Daughter, Life of Possibilities, Games We Played, Decisions, The Journey, and then located in Croft Manor. Yes, I am also missing an artifact from Amelia. The artifact is artifact number 3. I have photo, picture, Amelia's perfume bottle, and another photo. I still want to say West Wing. Well, hopefully the artifact's the document's near the artifact. Do you make coffee? No, that's why I was asking where it was. If you've got the location. And I said, why would you say you've got the location instead of posting it? But I can see why. No spoilers, please. I would like to play Shadows. Atelier chest on the left after using... Oh, I didn't find a... I didn't find a ladder in the atelier. But it looks like there's a ladder here. I think the atelier is a fancy word for... workroom or something. There's a chest there and a document there. There we go.
This was for a show in London of Mum's work. What I wouldn't give to see this today.
You have a dorm fridge set up under your desk. You just pulled an energy drink out from it, blew your coworker's mind because he didn't know. So to him, you just reached into a filing cabinet and produced a monster. And it just so happens to have condensation forming on it. Atelier is an artist's workplace. Oh, there you go. Hey, I was wondering if it was so descript to be artist. Well, artist isn't that very descript. It could be a lot of things. Painting specifically, or any form of artistry. We're going to be playing Shadows after I make a cup of tea, which will be after I find hidden information and then read the last document. Lawrence is not strong enough to open the brochure, though. Yes, she did have a gallery show. In New York's. Oh no, New Works. There we go.
It says here, Amelia Croft plans to show her work in New York. I wonder what happened with that.
Crit's open crackers, he's ready. Oh, I want crackers now. Achievement unlocked, complete
Lara
family
arrived
history.
tonight, though not without a bit of drama, but all is well. She's a healthy, beautiful baby. I've never seen Richard so happy. I'm sure he'll be celebrating with his favorite whiskey tonight. It's calm and peaceful now. Just the gentle sound of the rain.
I thought they'd be
and
together.
the small, sleeping breaths of this new life I hold in my arms. Lara Croft, my darling daughter.
Yeah, we're
It's
all
hard
done
to put
with
into words
Shadow,
this
with
feeling
Rise.
I have. We share
we're
a
onto Shadows.
connection, something I never expected. A love so powerful and pure. Someday you'll feel it too. No matter where you go or where you find your place in this world, we will always have this connection.
Do I know Tuck crackers in Australia? Nope. We are done. 100% Croft Manor with a little bit of help.